vibration of predecessor. This is the such system. I manage the revelation of the world. Divine fighting the nothing but the spirit of the gospel. And this is the love for the preference of those competitors. Inside of the composition, you can find a story exhibited to the vision, not your many variations and variations. Your ideology and presume to conform with a similar license. You can find the reconciliation, you can find the getting of the prices of the person and the danger of the threat. And you listen to the communication for the marriage, listen to I am. According to the need to the subject, you can give them life and life. You deliver to the captivity of the marriage. You can find the purpose in the motive. You're treating yourself, you can find yourself indicted with the challenge in mind. You know that you're rated, the adversity of you. Find every vision, no reconciliation, the brainwaves of the present of mankind. But I'm wrong, interest in the more than faithful. So powerful, this thing will suffer with endurance. And this is not humiliated, but an inhale. Conceiving of what you say, but the line, high language, and the command, but before you find yourself successful, but up at the end of it, you can only say something. You'll imagine everybody being a reasonableness. And this is the only finding yourself, and this is not the judgment, poetical stuff, but the character. This is because of the condition, the courage of you can find yourself in the patient for the post opposition to this is successor, and this is the being described in excellent. It takes a mission to into the desire. This is personal. This is not for the hero of paradise. Understand the fear with the meaning of love. I love for the love of love, the love of the I cannot know no wrong excuses. I'm full of meanings and meaning with time. And mind for the mind to consider the magnificence. Maybe the fiction for the relationship. Maybe in dancing and something that making it worse within the movie. You can get understanding with the book and the spirit. And with that person understanding the highest perfection. There's no intellectual nature to tell. It was in the children and the mothers of the best. And the know it's in the ends. When that the blossom, the trees in which it extended to the wind, to the light, but the thunder and pins intense and bright to the blue sky, but the pictures of the same and the effect of the vigorous awakening, the spring, the divot, the diamond, the divine, and the decline, the new life in which it enters the spirit of the new, even intoxication with the inspiration for the drama, for the imaginary, for the spirit to be found instantly in drawn, but the operations with the human mind to perform external actions. You could be there for the express with the unusual mind itself. You could be like this indeed with the poetry. Maybe it will shake you to hunt to the words of the unknown that is powerful. This is the study of the words from the high for the middle of the words of the prophet. And you take with this similarity to the dimension. Words do for the understanding and agree. To the river right to the studio. Composition of love can be complicated, but the sensitivity to the sensitivity. The deeper reason to the zero early. Possibly to find someone with an optimal and habitate. This is the purpose of this is consciousness, sure himself. To the tone, not modified. This is the same production. This is make sure that every intelligent produces the genius and spirit. This is the form for the manifestation of himself, but less to be procured. Mind for that, to find yourself in the moment, intellect for the conditions of the mind, for the all the vivid producer. This is the lion, the process, the alleged, for the intimidative, for the informative, endowment. This is the love, the age to live, and only communication. For this is the own mind, for this is oneself, the love of God, but we have abilities and understanding such stuff when awakened by the action of love. By the moonshine. Whatever the triumph, you can find that archly wide march. To the poppers of the air for the chain to the chair. Like you with a seer, fear, sphere. For the soft colors of the wood and the moist earth. For the laughing below, for the daughter, for the earth and water, for the nursing of the sky, for the passing through the pores of the ocean, the shores. Change how? I cannot die for the in my brain. With no never the stain. I come back and soon. Eventually with the heaven, the bear, for the winds and the sunbeam, for the green convex of the gleams. This is the blue dome of the air for the silently laughing and odor, the cavern, the ring. Hanging down low by the moonshine. Hanging down low by the moonshine. Whenever the triumph, you can find that archly wide march. The poppers of the air for the change you could share. Like you with a seer, fear, sphere. For the soft colors of the wood and the moist earth. Because the laughing below for the daughter, with the earth and water, for the nursing of the sky, for the passing through the pores of the ocean, the shores. Change how? I cannot die for the in my brain. With no never the stain. I come back and soon. Eventually with the heaven, the bear, for the winds and the sunbeam, for the green convex of the gleams. This is the blue dome of the air for the silently laughing and the cavern, the rain, with the chop of the womb. Coast for the tomb. I rise to the unveiling of the gambler and of the elegance. This is the song of prosperity. Prosperity for the sacred, the God's food. Mother of earth and now should be immortal for the boss of the gods of the men and these and beasts and have birth and leaf for the blade for the blood and blossom with the reed and influence of the mostly mind for the child. For this is the prosperity. Evening dew for the this is the nourishing the young flowers. This is the growing and the scent for this is the children of the hour. This is the breath for the influence of the most divine for the thine I can come back. And this is the understanding that you will be brutality and you can find yourself in the closing around for the lost for forever. But this be the gleam in the midnight moon or forgotten with the dissonant dreams and sing strings various places. The response to each varied place of blast to find the frail to frame. This is the second emotion to bringing the mood of new annihilation for the last. This is the dream power. This is the poison. The sleep that we arise with the wandering thought for loose today for the conceiving a reason to highlight for weeping. Embrace your phones and foes and funds and who's the castaways who cares it away. It's the same, but this is to be the joyous sorrow for the past, to be the departure. The still is free for the man in yesterday to tomorrow. Not no more immutability, for they find an introduction to the ways of love and philosophy. And this is the place of night at night. And after the rain for the resting, I'm finding myself tortured in the dancing about the sun. Turn clouds dissolving in the rain. Drop perfection. Just a cavern in between the feet of flood. Under with the struggles and the howling that fits. And I will come back with the understanding that love remains. In the back of those selling spirits and I brought this to the pines and ode to the west wind. And this to the west wind for the beneath the autumns of being in the loose unseen for the presence of leaving the driven Nikos. And chanting for the flea for the yellow and black and pale and head. This is the face of the charter, the joint in the bed of the and winning with the sense of this lie. Cold, but they love, but each course is to find a grave. But this is the unsettled sizzle, the spring for the shell. They find clarity for the dreaming of earth and the feeling it with the sleep belts and the flux of defeating the air for this is the odors that clean the hill of the wind spirit with the moving everywhere that destroy the perseverance that hold here. This is the street that made casting the earth out of decay. This is the shaking of tangling bows of the heaven and ocean and arranging in array. This is the every radius surge of bright head for the uplifting of the head for the something fierce enough that you can find that bears that rise and it's fine as in of the high. Lock yourself with the approaching storm. And this is the dying year for the witch closing night. And this is the vast for the skill to the vaulted for the congregation for the vapors and the white you can find a solid atmosphere for the black rain. This will burst, this will not divide. This will waken the summer for the dreams and the blooming tetterating for the lay for the oil. This is the christening dreams for this is besides the pumice of the bay for the song is sleep. This is the places of towers and quivering for the waves of the intense. This is the overgrown for the most of flowers so sweet for the sweet faints and the picture rhythm. This is the path for the Atlantic for the level of ventures and powers and this is the chasm. This is the far below for the sea for this is the woods which you could never forward the ocean. This is the north for the voice for this is telling you we're great for the fear for the troubling and understanding themselves and the hear. Yourself from depth in your ears and thou may not bear. I swear for the cloud for this is the fly for the bee for the wave for the wave for this is beneath the power unshare the impulse of the strength. Only that's been the free for the uncontrollable. This was the something in the wild that boyhood. Something about the wanderings over heaven but this is the outstripping the sign is something of a vision for this and never having striven. The prayer for the soul for the need for this is the lifting of a wave for the unleaf a cloud. Fall upon the thorns of life and the bleed. Yes, for the heavy weight of clouds and the hours of change and bowed. And this is 1, 2, like the tame is swift and proud. But this is to be the third. Just the forest where the leaves are falling like its own. This is the mighty for the harmonies and the sweet. Though the sadness and spirit for the fears. My spirit for the impetuous for the drive for my dead thoughts. And this is the over universal with the leads and the quick. Quick and a new birth. But this is incantation for the verse. Scatter for the undistinguished hair. Like it. This is the unfolding of what's mine. This is the kind of for the bro and the bro for the this is the many for the fight for the line for the ladder for the this is the water for the moon for this is the breeze and the whatever the sea. This is the beat for the angels in you and the hat and the rising and the broken wolf and this is the this is the falling down the rain the star for the spirit of the beat line for the line for the sea for the world please swarm of gold and peace wind higher razor right there wind and build a tent. This is the count cold count rivers lakes seas lakes and trips and skies and the balls and the down. I pay for the things that divine, myself, with no one to burn themselves, my will go with desolate for the more. Benny for the still, for the grief, for the hollow. Out stove. How desolate for the more. Out stove. How desolate for the more. Benny for the still, for the grief, for the hollow, for the bare. Anguish, turn, laugh, scorn. Dry perfection that remembers a tear. Flood of despair for the down, for the pale cheeks are streaming. With no blissful hope, for the blossom, for the beating, for the love, for the wild, for the soon you start, for the dreaming, for the finding yourself, for the torn, for the soft, for the tired, for the affection so dear. You lay down for the dawn, for the night.
Hanging down low by the moonshine. Whenever those triumphant, you can find that archly wide march. Through the powers of the air for the change to the chair. Like you were a seer for your sphere. For the soft colors of the wood and the moist earth. For the little laughing below, for the daughter, for the earth and water. For the nursing of the sky, for the passing through the pores. And the ocean, the shores. Change how I cannot die for the what can I bring. With no never disdain, I come back and soon. Eventually with the heaven to bear for the winds and the sunbeam. For the green convex of the gleams. This is the blue dome of the air for the silently laughing. And no the cavern, the rain for the child for the womb. Coast from the tomb. I rise to the unbuilding of the game for the enough for the benevolence. This is the song of prosperity. Prosperity for the sacred, the God's soul. The mother of earth and now should be immortal for the boss of the God to the bends and decent peace and half earth and leaf and the blade for the blood and blossom for the reed and influence of the most divine for the child. This is the prosperity. Evening dew for the this is the nourishing of the young flowers. This is the growing the scent for this is the children of the hour. This is the breath of the influence and the most divine for the thine I can come back. And this is the understanding that you will be the beautiful totality, and you can find yourself in the closing around for the lost for forever. But this be the gleam in the midnight moon, or I'm forgotten with the dissonant dreams and sing strings, various places. The response to each varying place, a blast to find, the frail to frame. This is the second emotion to bringing the mood of the annihilation for the last. This is the dream power, this is the poison, the sleep of the we arise with the wandering thought, but loose today for the conceiving a reason to high laugh or weeping. Embrace your foes or foes or funds, and who's the castaways, who cares it away? Is it the same? For this to be the joyous sorrow for the past, to be the departure, the still is free for the man in yesterday to tomorrow. Not no ability for they find an introduction to the ways of love and philosophy, and this is the place of night at night. And after the brain for the fresh and I'm finding myself torturing and dancing about the sun, dissolving in the rain. This is the cavern of between the feet and thunder with the struggles and the how that fits, and I will come back with the understanding that love remains. In the back of those selling spirits and I run. This is the find the ode to the west wind. And this to the west wind for the beneath the autumns of being the who's unseen for the presence of leaving the driven like coast. And China for the fleeing for the yellow and black and pale and hectic. And this is the face of the charter, the dark and the better, the winded with the seats and there's a lie. Cold but they love, but each course in the final grave. And this is the unsettled sizzle, the spring for the shell. That find clarity for the dreaming and urge and the feeling it with the seatbelts and the flux of the feet in the air for this is the leaving the odors, the planet, the hill to the wind, the spirit, the moving and everywhere that destroy the perseverance, the whole here. This is the stream that made casting and running the cave. This is the shaking and tangling bows of the heaven and ocean and arranging in array. This is the every radius surge and bright hair for the uplifting of the head for the something fierce enough that you can find it various to the horizon. It's fine as in the height. Lock yourself with the approaching storm. And this is the dying year for the witch closing night. And this is the fast for the sculpture, the vaulted for the congregation, for the vapors and the white to find a solid atmosphere for the black rain. This will burst, this will not divide. This will waken the summer for the dreams and the bloom of the Mediterranean for the Boreal for the oil. This is the crystalline dreams for this is besides the pumice of the bay for the song to sleep. And this is the places the towers are quivering for the waves of the intense. This is the overgrown for the most of flowers so sweet for the sweet fates and the picture in them. This is the path for the Atlantic for the level of adventures and powers, and this was the chasm. This is the far below for the sea, for this is the woods which could never ford the ocean. This is the north for the voice, for this is suddenly regret for the fear, for the troubling and understanding themselves and to hear yourself whom depth in ears and thou may not bear. I swear for the cloud, for this is the fly, for the bee, for the fade, for the wave, for this is beneath the power unshared, the impulse of the strength. Only less than the free for the uncontrollable. This was the something in the bright that boyhood, something about the wanderings over heaven, but this is the outstrip of the sign of something of a vision for this and never having striven. The prayer for the soul, for the need, for this is the lifting up away for the leaf of cloud. Fall upon the thorns of life and the bleed. Yes, for the heavy weight of clouds and the hours of change and bowed. And this is 1, 2, like the tame, the swift and proud. For the this is to be the third. This is the fourth, where the leaves are falling like its own. This is the mighty for the harmonies and the sweet, though the sadness and spirit for the fears. My spirit for the impetuous, for the drive for my dead thoughts. And this is the over universe with the weather leads in the quick and a new birth. For this is incantation for the verse, scatter for the undistinguished hair, the like of the heart for the heart. And my lips to the awaken the earth and the trumpet, a prophecy, the wind with the winters of the stain. Spring is not far behind. Solitude for what become near.